Hi everyone, my name is Jodelyn and welcome to my presentation on chloride ions. Chloride ion is a chlorine and ion that forms the negatively charged part of certain salts, including sodium and hydrogen chloride salts, and is an essential electrolyte located in all body fluids, responsible for maintaining acid-base balance, transmitting nerve impulses, and regulating fluid in and out of cells. It is a halide anion and a monoatomic chlorine. It is a conjugated base of a hydrogen chloride. The chloride channel is a member of the chloride channel transporter family, and it plays an important role for the physiological functions of skeletal muscles. The opening of this chloride channel is voltage dependent and is also regulated by protons and chloride ions. Let's talk about skeletal muscle channelopathies. Channelopathy is genetic defects in the genes encoding the calcium, sodium, chloride, and potassium channels in skeletal muscles result in the periodic paralysis, the non-dystrophic myotonias, and the rhinodinopathies. The non-dystrophic myotonias, or the NDM, it's the prolongation of skeletal muscle relaxation time following sudden voluntary contraction or external mechanical stimulation. It's a defect in muscle ion channel function leads to hyperexcitability, have an overlapping phenotypes, and seldom cause progressive muscle wasting. So we have two groups of NDMs. First is the chloride channelopathies. It's the dominant and recessive forms of myotonia congenita. And second is the sodium channelopathies, including paramyotonia congenita and the potassium aggravated myotonias. Let's talk about myotonia congenita, which is the most common skeletal muscle channelopathy and is caused by mutation in the skeletal muscle voltage-gated chloride channel gene, CLCM1, which encodes the chloride channel protein, the CLC1. So we have two forms of myotonia congenita. First is the autosomal dominant, or it's a Thompson, characterized by early onset, mild to moderate myotonia, and muscle hypertrophy. The muscle stiffness is generally painless and transient, whereas the autosomal recessive, or it's called BICA, characterized by later onset, moderate to severe myotonia with transient weakness, moderate muscle hypertrophy, especially of the lower extremity, and in some cases by progressive muscle weakness and wasting. The relationship between chloride ion and GABA. Chloride ions are pivotal in neuronal signaling. They permeate through an ion channels, thereby regulating membrane potential and excitability in neurons. A large proportion of chloride permeable channels are gated by the neurotransmitters GABA and glycine. Both neurotransmitters act by opening an ion channels that are mainly but not exclusively permeable to chloride. However, since the permeability to chloride ion is significantly greater than that to other anions, the reversal potential for GABA equilibrium is determined primarily by the equilibrium potential for chloride. Therefore, GABA equilibrium can be considered close to chloride equilibrium. The neurotransmitter gamma-aminobutyric acid, or the GABA, it inhibits the activity of signal-receiving neurons by interacting with the GABA-A receptor on these cells. The primary GABA receptor is a channel-forming protein that allows the passage of chloride ions into the cell. So excessive primary GABA receptor activation may play a role in mediating the sedative effects of alcohol and other sedating and anesthetic agents. There are two main types of neurotransmitters and transmitters receptors: excitatory and inhibitory. Determine the response of the signal receiving neuron. Excitatory neurotransmitters and their receptors increase the neuron's intrinsic electrical activity and excitability, whereas inhibitory neurotransmitters and the receptors reduce neuronal excitability. For optimal functioning, the brain must balance the excitatory and inhibitory influences. So excessive excitation can lead to seizures, whereas excessive neuronal inhibition can result in coordination, sedation, and anesthesia. GABA, the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system, found in high concentrations in the cortex and limbic system. It is inhibitory in nature and thus reduces the excitability of neurons and produces a calming effect on the brain. Benzodiazepine act as a positive allosteric modulators in the gamma-aminobutyric acid A receptor. The GABA A receptor is a ligand-gated chloride selective ion channel. So benzodiazepine can treat different disorders like sleep disorders, treatment of insomnia, in anxiety disorders like panic attacks, and convulsive disorders, treatment of epilepsy in children and adults, and it can treat muscle spasm as well. Side effects of benzodiazepine usage like drowsiness, confusion, dizziness, trembling, impaired coordination, vision problems, grogginess, feelings of depression, and headache. Diazepam or Valium, this is an anxiety-reducing, hypnotic, sedative, and anticonvulsant drug that acts rapidly. It is used to treat panic attacks, insomnia, seizures, restless leg syndrome, and alcohol withdrawal. Diazepam is also used for the treatment of benzodiazepine dependence due to its low potency. Overdose. Benzodiazepine overdose is rarely fatal unless the drugs are mixed with barbiturates, opioids, alcohol, or tricyclic antidepressants. The most common symptoms of benzodiazepine overdose are central nervous system depression and intoxication with impaired balance and movement control. Slurred speech will also be a sign.